I get into all of this? So I was about 7, 8, 9, quite young, and I used to just have an interest in it. I used to sit with my nan, we used to pretend to be doing tea leaf readings, and every time she would talk about a different feeling her mum around, her mum passed when she was really young, so every time she talked about feeling her mum around, I would always question it. What do you mean you feel her around? How can you can't see her? So it kind of got my interest into it from there. When I was a little bit older, 12, 13, I think I must have bought the first spiritual type of magazine. And it came with some little tarot cards or some angel cards. And I remember getting my first proper deck of tarot cards for Christmas time. And that's about 13. When I was at school, I was able to predict or guess people's astrology signs, their star signs, by their personalities. So I got into the astrology quite quickly. Then again, I must have been about 15, I think, 16. And I got a little job working for a lady, Maureen, and a man, husband and wife team, Maureen and Ray, down Southsea Pier. And they were doing the mediumship and the readings, and I was doing astrology charts for them. So I did that for, I think, the summer term. And actually, when I was there, she read my palm. It's funny looking back on things, isn't it? She read my palm and she said, you'll get married twice. I've only been married once so far. You get married twice, you're going to work abroad. You're going to go to America and you're going to work. Well, I had no interest in working in America whatsoever at all then. So anyway, I left working with her and went on to do beauty therapy after school, trained as a beauty therapist, expecting to be doing that side of the life. And then I got into retail management, so I left the beauty therapy behind, did all the retail management, but always had an interest in the spiritual things. Anything that was to do with it, I just, my ears would prick up. And then I got into my 20s and I went down all the party route. So every time I did sign up for lots of courses, but then it was like, do I do that or do I spend the money going out? No, I spent the money going out. So I went off track. But what I did find was the guy it was weird because so I'm just going to go back a little bit. So there was a friend I had at school and she was really interested in this as well. And we would talk, we were really young, 8, again 9, and on the way home from school we would be talking about God and we'd have all these conversations about God. Then at the end of it we would say like, oh, and God made us talk about that. So I had this sort of infinity with religion. When we both got to about 18, we started to sit in her mum's circle and we did some past life regression and I just started to understand a little bit more about how things work. When I moved on with my next boyfriend, it turned out that his parents were healers and he was into it. I had an understanding of it, so we had some conversations and it just grew my interest a bit. But like I said, I went down the party route, so I didn't go into any of the development classes that I probably should have done, or maybe not. When I came to my late 20s, I came across a Reiki lady, and first of all, actually, she was doing a taster course on Reiki, on Indian head reflexology. So I went along to the college, did that. Loved it, but I had this connection with this lady. Her name was Maggie Nicol. She's passed now. And I just looked at her and I thought, we look familiar. There's something weird familiar. And I think I've known you before. Didn't say anything to her because I didn't even know about it. I just was going with my feelings. Then a couple of years later, I moved to Spain, moved back. A couple of years after that, I wanted to get into it a bit more. So I found this lady's details and booked the Reiki course with her for the weekend. And during that weekend she said to me, do you know we've had a past life experience together? And I just thought, that's a bit weird, because I never said it to her. I didn't say it to anyone, and for her to pick up, but there was something there. It was weird. So I got initiated, did my Reiki 1, got initiated, and that definitely opened up lots of doors. Then I found an astrology course. I then found a tarot course, meditation, psychic development, you name it. I signed up for the whole lot. I got married, started to have my family, my children. So I thought it'd be great if I give up work and then I can be a stay-at-home mum and do all the cooking that I'm so good at, not. And so that's what I did. I gave up I had a good career, good job, gave up that to have a family. And then I also gave him the time to be able to learn how to do more spiritual things and to sign up for all the courses. What I didn't plan on, I didn't realise, was that my husband had addiction to everything, you name it, he had it. So while I was pregnant, we ended up in a lot of debt. I lost the house. We had to sell furniture for food, you name it, we did it just to get by. Christmas Eve, I was about 6 months pregnant, and we were at court because he didn't pay the rent, which I didn't know. So we've been kicked out of our house. Christmas Eve, I'm pregnant. Luckily, the judge was kind and let us stay until the new year. Weirdly, my nan passed around the same time, so we ended up moving into her house. So it was all a bit of a funny time there, and that's where I am now, still in my nan's house. Anyway, so I have the children and start practicing going to these development circles and getting a bit more involved. That was all cool. And then a friend of mine says to me, come to this toddler group with us. But I've got a friend that wants to go to the toddler group. She's too shy. She doesn't want to come on her own. I said, well, I'll go once, but I won't go again because it's not my thing. So I took my baby, 9 months old, went to the toddler group with this girl. I loved it. She hated it. She never came back. I went every week. Made some really good friends that I'm still in contact with. And actually, I wouldn't be doing this now if it wasn't for this girl. No, I wouldn't. So I'm at this random toddler group, and I got the therapy. I'm still a beauty therapist. So the lady who runs it said to me, do you want to do waxing on the mums? Do you want to do waxing while the kids run around? Health and safety wasn't around then, so it was all good. So I said, yeah, okay. So she bring your flies in. So I brought my flies in. And she said, oh, I noticed you do Reiki and angel cards. I said, yeah, I don't do angel cards, but I'm interested in it. And she said, well, I do Reiki as well, and I've got angel cards. Bring your cards next week. So I bought my cards, and then before you know it, we were doing little mini readings on the mums. But it was super new, so I'd have my little book, and I'd be like, that card means that in that position, and that means this. And then after a little while, people were starting to say, could you come around my house and do it? I've got a group of friends. So I'm like, okay. So we went from sort of once every 4 months to once every 2 months. Then it ended up being every week. And it was a Wednesday, so we would go out every Wednesday, do a group party. Didn't charge for about the first year. And then once we sort of to build ourselves, we then, I think, charged £5 per reading to cover petrol. And then it built up. After a little while, we separated. And the toddler groups closed down and the kids grew up, so we kind of all went our separate ways. But I carried on doing it. I believe she did in a different way. And I joined a development circle, really started to get properly involved, started to work with different people. I worked on a cruise, was really, really fortunate with Gordon Smith, and then teaching the tarot on that. And then did some big mind, body, spirit fairs, David Wells, Derek Okora. So I was kind of getting involved in some much bigger events now, which I was loving. And work was picking up. Everything was really cool on the outside. Was busy and doing exactly what I wanted to do. Actually, when I was 19, I had a tarot reading by a lady, she passed now, Sylvia Sims, quite well known in the area. She said to me, you'll be doing tarot as a living. And I thought, no way. No way. So I'm in my 30s now, and all of a sudden I remember what she said, and oh yeah, actually I am doing it. Wow. So getting regular clients, everything's going well, and I'm thinking, do you know what? I'm not practicing what I'm preaching. I'm not being authentic. My home life is a shambles. The kids are fine, but me and my husband are dire. So I did a tarot reading at a fair I was working at, and I thought I need to go home and finish it now. So I went home. And amicably, we separated, and I helped him get a new flat, and it was all good for a little while. So that made me so much better, because I knew then that I was being much more authentic. And it was difficult, obviously, leaving your marriage, but I was telling people in readings, you should be living happily and not taking second best, and I'm giving all this sort of guidance and things, and then I'm thinking I'm not even doing that myself, and it didn't feel comfortable. So yeah, I was authentic, left my husband, and that was good. And then things took off in a different angle, started seeing somebody else a short while later, another medium, Colin, and weirdly we had some more connections that come in. He knew people, he'd been to places that I'd first been to, even though he wasn't in the area. And then one day I was chatting to his mum in Bournemouth, and I said, I used to work at Southsea Pier. And she said she used to work at Southsea Pier. And she said, we had this little girl come and do our astrology. And she described the little booth, and I thought, I recognise that. And I said, I was that little booth. And she was Maureen, and Colin's stepdad was Ray. So this was like nearly 25 years later that I'd reconnected with her. So, if you just said to me when I was 16 that you're going to be ending up with the woman that you're working for's son. How crazy is that? So it was bizarre. Then we had some other opportunities come up, Colin and I, and one was in America. And he'd been to America before, and I was like, well, I want him to go back for him. So I was trying to arrange, I like to do things for people, so I was trying to arrange it for him. And we were like, we don't know anyone in America, we can't just rock up. So the powers that be, we went to a psychic supper, and this lady, a friend of ours, Di, she well, we didn't know her actually at the time, but she swapped her ticket, a raffle ticket, so she could have a reading with Colin. So she's having a reading with Colin. Halfway through it, she said, would you like to go to America? And he was like, yeah. And before that, we'd been trying to work out how we could go. Every time we put the TV on, come up California, I got an email from someone in California, can you do me a reading? Everything was, my son came home from shopping with a t-shirt, California, everything was pointing to California. And I was like, it's all there, but we can't get there. So she says to him, I've got a contact. Do you want to go? So he said, okay, pass the contact to Kate. So I phoned the contact. Yeah, we hook up. So I said, it's all great, but we haven't got any money to get there. And then Di said, you'll get it. And I'm not kidding you, within about 2 hours, I got a PPI through the door that more than covered the flight. So we booked it, done, went. And we've been going there for a few years now. We've made regular contacts. We've expanded things. So sort of, I don't know, it was meant to be, definitely meant to be there. So we've come back from doing a couple of years in America, and we've got closer, the work's got really good, everything's sort of picking up between us. And then events that happened within friendships changed, and before you know it, I've got a unit that I'm working from. I've started to do a development circle because somebody was on holiday, they asked me to help cover it. So while I was covering it, the people said, actually, we really like the way you work, would you carry on? So when they came back, they said, look, you take 1 week and they take 1 week. So we did that for a little while. And then we parted. So I had my own development circle when I was renting a room all the time. So I thought, I really need a unit here to save the money all the time. So I got a unit, and things just happen. Got a unit and rented some of the other space out. That started to build up the work. Lots of people saying, would you teach tarot? I'm like, no, I can't teach it. I'm not that confident. And then another girl comes into my life and says, look, would you put on a course with me? I'm not sure quite how to do it, but between the two of us, we can muddle through it. So while we were doing the course, everything she was saying, I was thinking, no, that's not right. That's not how the cards are. No. And at the end of it, I thought, you know what? I can do this 10 times better. So then I started teaching it. So I'm a huge believer in, people come into your life for whatever, help you on to the next step. So, so I have this little unit. And then before you know it, other people have said, what about opening a coffee shop within it? Oh my God, I can't do a coffee shop. There's no way I can't cook, let alone I don't drink coffee, let alone do anything like that. No, we'll run the coffee part, you do this. Okay, that's cool. So we built the coffee shop, and then things changed again. So they parted and I was left with some others running the coffee shop. Then as time went on, another shop came up in Caution, which is where I'm from, so it made it a lot easier. I said no originally to it, said no. And then I said, you know what, let's just do it. We did the cards and it all looked good. Let's do it. So I ended up renting a shop, turning it into the Mystic River Lounge. While Colin and I were in America one trip, we had a different name, and then we were going over this beautiful river, and I wanted a mystical name, so we just came up with the Mystic River Lounge. So we opened the shop in Caution. That was a year ago now. We renovated it, did everything to it, and the room we're in now is the therapy and the reading room, and then we've got the coffee shop part, and we run the circle runs from here, different classes and workshops. So I'm kind of here most of the time. During all of this sort of, all this moving along, I'd also had a contact from somebody in London, Jane Wallace. When I did the psychic cruises, I had a contact with her, and she runs Psychic Sisters up in London in Selfridges. So I said to a friend who worked there, get me a job. She said, well, don't work like that, you'll have to email her. So I was like, okay. So this was in February, and something was like, not yet. And I got to June, I was in America, got to June, I thought, I'm going to email her, feels right to email her. So I messaged my friend and said, I'm just going to email Jane now to see if there's a vacancy. She said, you're so spooky. She's in the air now, coming to where you are in California. and I've just sent her a message telling her about you. And this is 5 months after our first chat. So I messaged her and said, look, I'm in California, you're in California, do you want to hook up for a coffee? Yeah. So we met up, and then, yeah, she offered me a job. So I now work in Psychic Sisters as well, and I've been there nearly a year as well. So everything has kind of led to where I am without me forcing it too much. And in fact, I had, when things were really bad with me and my husband, and we really didn't have a pot to pee in there at all, I started to do everything. I started to do Chocoholics, I started to do Avon, Clean Easy, I did cleaning around friends' houses, you name it, anything to bring a bit of cash in, because he wasn't. And I had a reading with somebody and they said, something you're going to do, and I was doing tarot as well, I was doing the little Wednesday nights, but I just didn't think anything of it then. Someone said, this medium said, something you're going to do is going to take off, it's going to do really well. And I thought, great, my Chocoholics, I'm going to be really good at it. And then by Christmas, that was done and dusted. And I think early in the new year, I thought, oh, it's the tarot then, it's that what I need to focus on. And it kind of, just felt. So I never planned to be a tarot reader, I planned to be a beauty therapist originally. And it all just kind of, from that toddler group, all just kind of happened, and is where I is now with it all. Where would I see myself in a few years' time with the coffee shop? Oh God, I don't know. And I don't know because I don't plan. I didn't plan any of this, so I'm not going to plan. There's been a lot of interest with different TV things. There's been lots of interest with loads of different, you get messages all the time, and some things pan out, some things don't. So I don't get too excited now because, some things don't. I've just started working on a new magazine. That's going to happen soon. So hopefully, in however many time, everything will just be bigger and better. But I don't have a plan. I just do week for week, as long as I can pay my bills, as long as I can do things with the children and cover everything. After being such a sort of down place with my husband and not having anything now, as long as I can pay the rent, have the bills and do nice things with the kids, I'm happy. That's fine. So, and as it is, it's all good. If it stays like this for 2 years, I'll be really happy. But I think things grow because things do grow, but I'm not planning anything. I just go with the flow, and I'll come up with ideas and then I'll just go with it. And then much to I've got a manager, much to her annoyance, she's always saying to me, slow down, you need to say no, you need to say, let me think about it. And I just say, yeah. So, and at the beginning, I just went to the opening of everything, the opening of an envelope. I just said yes to everything. And I really think that opened up a lot of doors, all the fairs, everything, until I got in the position where I could then choose who I wanted to work with, what I wanted to work with. But now it's, I just go with the flow now. I'm just easy with it. No plan. They can visit my website, www.katemay.uk.co.uk, or they can email me, katemay@moderndaymistic@gmail.com, or they can contact me via the phone, which is on the website. On Facebook, I'm all over Facebook, Kate May. So the way I work is I don't tell people what to do, I just say what the card means in that position, and then you've got free will and I haven't got your life responsibilities on my shoulders.
That's fine.
So while you're shuffling, think about a question, or if you just want to see what's going on around you, then when you're ready, hand them back. Would you understand where you've had a penny dropping moment?
Yes, I have.
And a little bit more clarity around a situation that brings to light
Yes.
here. Now you've got a really positive card, but it's overshadowed by a little bit of a challenge coming up, okay? So I know that there must be things going on in your mind where you're a little bit worried about things, and this feels that you keep it under the surface.
Yes.
So you wouldn't be telling everybody, but it's in your mind, and it feels as well that you have trouble sleeping at the moment because of what's going on in your mind as well.
Yeah.
And it has got an emotional connection around it as well, so I do feel quite difficult with the decisions that are coming up here. However, as you move forward into around about October, November, I want to say, there's some new beginnings here, and this feels like a little bit more fun, a little bit more carefree, where you'll be able to step into a new chapter. It's still more unknown for you, but it feels much more exciting, okay? And I want to say go for it. As the energy moves forward over the next few months, it picks up a little bit more and it feels a little bit more lighter. So you've got an aspect of having to let go of situations around you and thinking about the bigger picture. In this choices, in this decisions, it's about what you want to let go, what you want to leave behind, not take forward with you. And looking about long-term aspects, not short-term, and seeing things from a different angle there. Okay. So both of these cards are about hanging around, not making a quick decision. But I know that eventually you will end up moving forward and taking that leap of faith there. Yeah. Where things are heading is saying you can master everything. You can be master of your own destiny. However much energy you want to put into it is what you'll get back out of it. Okay. So you've got all the tools to do the job, which you'll be aware about, and it's just bringing it all into fruition, really. Your ideas, bringing them down into being practical, and making sure that everything is done fairly. Yeah. There's this fair balance. Yeah. Making sure that everything is split fairly, that the workload is split fairly, any finances is split fairly, and there's this balance coming in and harmony within that balance. Okay. Yeah. So does this make sense around you? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So would you have any questions or anything you would like to see?
Well, you've sort of answered mostly what I've had in my mind anyway.
Perfect.
Because it was about what's coming up rather than a specific question.
Right, okay. So I want to say something new is going to be exciting and good, but you'll have to hold off for a little while and really contemplate things, really think about things, and all of a sudden it gets going. Yeah. And I feel I'm moving into next year as well, when it's really April time, when it's really start moving forward properly there, and you venture there.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Hello everybody, thank you for those that watched the story. I didn't see all of it because it's not something I want to watch back really. I'll probably watch it later on, but I'm aware that there was a few questions that have come up, so I'm going to try and answer the questions that have come up. I've got the earpiece in, so I'm being fed the questions, nothing else, because I can't see what's on the screen here in front of me anyway. I haven't got my glasses on, but it's minute. So yeah, thank you for watching the story. Is there any questions that anyone wants to ask about to do with either my journey or to do with the tarot cards? Any particular cards that you find that you find difficult to interpret, or hello, what's happened there? It just went dead. Did any of that get through? Okay. Hello. I'm not sure what happened there. We got disconnected, so I don't know what part of that you heard from me. But I'll repeat it for those that missed it, or if it didn't get connected. So my name's Kate May, and I'm here to answer your questions. Thank you for listening to or watching the story, if you did, and my journey. If you've got any questions that you want to ask me to do with the tarot cards, if you want to know what particular cards mean, if you keep getting stuck on them, if you want to know what reverse cards mean, if you find you keep getting the same cards for different things, and you know we want to ask what that means, why you keep getting repetitive cards, just you can ask any questions you want. If you want to ask questions on my journey, I'm here. I'm an open book for you all to answer. So I ask. I've got a few questions I know that has been coming through already, so I'm going to start off with those. Oh, I better do some hellos first. I've got this in so I can hear what I'm being told from because I can't read the questions, so I'm being fed the questions. Okay, so what? Who am I saying hello to? Hello, Amanda. Hello. Thank you for coming on. Hello, Sally. How you doing? You all right? Carly. Hello, Carly. Oh, Jissa, Carly. Sorry. Michael, hello. Pauline, hello. It's really weird not being able to see anyone, but just getting fed the names. Tracy, hello. Thank you all for joining. Oh, you're all saying hello again. Thank you. Hello. Are you all right? Yes, I'm going to answer. Okay, so the first question that came in from Jules: do loved ones see when you're suffering? Now, obviously, I'm here to talk about the tarot predominantly. That would be more of a mediumship question there. However, my feeling on that, they would they're very different over there, so that they don't have the human emotions that we have here. My understanding, but yeah, they would pick up. They would know what's going on. They would sense what's going on around. Obviously, they would come with their love and their comfort for you. And you might find that you're seeing particular little signs at the moment, Jules. So if you are going through a bit of emotional patch, you might find that you're seeing little white feathers or particular butterflies, robins, coins, whatever it is that could be your symbol. Maybe putting the radio on and it's a particular song, or seeing a lorry go past and it's got the initials of someone that you've been missing in spirit. There'll be little signs that they try and let you know, just to let you know that you're getting the comfort from. But yeah, they're aware. I'm sure they're aware of what's going on, but just in a different style that what we would think. It's not in the same fashion that we would be, because obviously they're spirit and we're not, to a degree. So hopefully that helps. That answers. So Michael's asked, do I channel the messages or is it intuitive? It's a little bit of both, actually. It's a little bit of both. So when you're working with the cards, or for me, when I'm working with the cards, when I first started learning it, it was by the book. I'm quite traditional, I'm quite old-fashioned. I like things by the book. So I did read the book and I learnt what the meanings are. So I've got the basic foundation of it. As I started working and doing more and more, you then pick up, or for me, I then picked up a layer. So a layer of psychic, a layer of the mediumship. So you've got the basic meaning and then you get other things on top of it, which will expand the reading and give you a bit more depth to it. So I will work with my intuition psychically when I'm working, but predominantly I'm working with the foundation of the card. I'm not a massive fan of somebody, for me it doesn't work, for somebody who's just working intuitively, haven't got the correct meaning of the card, but they're just getting what they're getting. For me, that doesn't give, when I've had readings like that, it hasn't worked. For me it works when they know what the basic meaning of the card is. So I try and mix a bit of all of it. And sometimes if your intuition, for whatever reason, isn't quite there, if you know the card, then it's still going to be an accurate reading, because for me the cards will be always kind of come up with what it is going to talk about there. So I like to lay it with a little bit of both. So hopefully, Michael, that helps answer you. Amanda, thank you. Hope you liked my story. It was weird doing it. And I was like, do I say this? Do I say that? What have I forgotten? What have I missed out? How have I said this? How have I said that? So I'm sure when I listen back to it, I'll be thinking, oh my God, I'll be cringing over it. But I'll welcome your feedback on it. And obviously I know you, Amanda, so I'm sure you'll tell me. But hopefully you enjoyed it. The tarot suits. So you're talking about the cups, the pentacles, the wands and the swords, I'm assuming. So is there an easy way? Well, they all represent the seasons. So one easy way could be winter, summer, spring and autumn. For me, the spring would be the wands, and this won't be correct for everybody. You have to go with what feels right for you. For me, you can think of the spring as being wands, because you've got new little shoots coming out. The summer for cups, because everything is just lovely in the summer. The pentacles is the hard working one, so that's for me would be the winter. And the swords for me are the autumn time. And no real easy way, I guess, just to kind of remember, or putting your own spin on it. The swords for me represent mental. So they're connected to the air signs, and air signs in astrology are mental. So to try and remember that the swords are mental, they're to do with your thought, they're to do with your logic. The cups, they're quite an easy one to remember because I think that they all always look lovely. So you've got that emotional side to it, so you know that they're emotions. The wands, wands and work, you can think of it like that. Wands equal work, or creative vibe around. Action. Wands are fiery, they're the fire signs, so they're going to be connected to Aries, Sagittarius and Leo, fiery. And you might think sticks, wands, fire. And then the pentacles are the earth, and they're the money. So when you think about Tauruses, Capricorns, and it escapes me for the third, Virgo, for the earth signs, and they're workers, they're hard workers, they're builders, and that's where the pentacles come in to it, because it's to do with monetary or material matters there. So I don't know if there's an easy way. One easy way to kind of remember some of it is if you know of a person and you know their personality, then you might be able to think, well, they're a fire sign, so wands are going to be that fiery type. They're an earth sign, so they're going to be earthy, grounded, and workers. So you might be able to sort of put it into those categories. You've got a water sign, you're a water sign, Amanda, so emotional, sensitive, that would come in with the cups. So you could sort of think of people that might help you remember things there. But and seasons, yeah. Other than that, what I keep saying, it's practice, practice, practice on it. Write it down, maybe write some things down. So keywords, I always work on keywords. So write some keywords down that might help you to remember the different categories from the suits there. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so if you want to see me at all, you can follow me on Facebook, Kate May. My group is called Kate May Modern Day Mystic, and my YouTube channel is Kate May Modern Day Mystic. I run the Mystic River Lounge in Cosham High Street, which is a spiritual style coffee shop. It's a regular coffee shop, but it's also where we do all our classes, our courses. It's where I do my readings, my one-to-ones. We've got books, we've got crystals, we've got incense, all sorts of different products in there. So that's in Cosham High Street in Portsmouth if you want to come along. And if you can't make it there, then we do I do Skype readings, email readings, interaction ones through those. I believe there's a couple of other questions, but if anyone else wants to ask any more questions on the tarot or on anything really, we're giving it a go. What have you got? Like, share and follow, please. Hit that share button. Okay, and I'm being fed loads of stuff here to keep saying. Please say, please do the likes and the hearts, and the shares, the likes and the hearts, because Facebook picked that up a lot more. So if you can, I don't know if I'm getting any or not because I don't see any here, but if you can press that love heart button, that would be really cool. Thank you. Okay, so I am going to be doing some live readings. So if you do hit the share button, hopefully it will come up that you've shared and that you've liked and that you've loved her. And we'll try and pick those people that have done that to be able to give you a little live reading if you would like one. So again, drop us a line to say you'd like a reading and a card, and hit that love heart button and share to make sure that you're in with a chance to get one. So Pauline has asked, with tarot cards, can I tell anything about relationships? Yeah, absolutely, Pauline. Yeah, so depending on what card comes from that, you can see whether it's a new relationship, whether it's a long-term relationship, whether it's a favourable one or whether it's not a favourable one. You can see if it's something that's going to need a little bit more hard work involved, or something that's just going on its natural course quite nicely there. There's all sorts that you can see with it. When you do the readings, people seem to think if you ask a love question or relationship question, you're automatically going to be getting the Lovers card or the Two of Cups, or predominantly Cups, because you're asking about relationships. But it doesn't work like that. You could ask, somebody could come in and ask about relationships, and then they get a load of Wands or they get a load of Pentacles. So it's my job to work out how those Pentacles can be transferred into a love reading. I can't then go off and talk about work. If they've come in for a love reading, I have to say what the card's there, but it has to be on the same line of what they want to hear. So it's down to me to work out that, you know, oh gosh, I haven't got any cups here. I need to interpret these pentacles into the relationship. So yeah, definitely the answer is yeah, it can tell you about all sorts of relationships, lovers, friends, whatever relationship, people from the past. It can talk about all of that. Hopefully that helps, Pauline. Oh, okay. Yeah. So if you want to give any feedback on what I've said, then we can mention that as well. Don't forget the loves. Wow. Okay. So somebody just asked, apart from the Rider-Waite deck, which is the best tarot deck for beginners, apart from the Rider-Waite, do you know what? The Rider-Waite are a really good foundation deck for beginners. The other ones that you could get could be the ones I would recommend for beginners is anything that's got the tarot connection. So you might find it's the angel tarot or the animal tarot or the fairy tarot, and I've got all of them. And not only has it got a really beautiful picture, but underneath it's got the words. So on the Rider-Waite deck, I'll just show you as an example of one. So on the Rider-Waite deck, got no words. You have to just know what it means. Whereas on the fairy deck, for example, you've got the words there. It explains in a few keywords what it means, and it's got the interpretation. So when you're trying to learn, these other decks are a really good starting point. Sometimes you might want to look without looking at the words, so you just get a feel for the picture, so you've got your own intuition there, but then the words will just bring that to life a little bit more. So if you're not comfortable with the Rider-Waite ones and you just find they don't shout at you, then maybe some of the angel, fairy or animal ones, and they're all very similar. These are fairy ones, but the angel ones will have an angel theme. The animal ones are amazing and they've got an animal theme to it. But I would say probably those, if you're struggling with the Rider-Waite ones, you can get millions of different decks though, so it's really important that you choose the ones that you feel drawn to. I'm not a big fan of you only have to have ones that are gifted to you. You know, that was the way one day perhaps, but I don't think that matters too much now. Go for what you're drawn to. Some people are really into the pagan ones, so you're going to find a pagan deck that's going to be really, you know, interesting for you and jump out at you. There's so many decks. There's decks for all sorts. So whatever it is that you're into, you'll be able to find something that suits you, I'm sure. But I would say have a look at those fairy, angel or animal ones with the words underneath to help you remember what they mean. And it also gives you a bit softer. So if I'm reading for somebody who's really vulnerable, or not vulnerable so much, but really a bit scared of the tarot, or if they're between sort of 16 and 18, apart from having their parent with them, I would use the angel cards, the angel tarot. I wouldn't use the Rider-Waite on somebody who's a bit nervous or below 18, because the angel ones and the fairy ones, the pictures are slightly softer. So rather than the death card, it will talk more about release. It could have a tree that's got, you know, releasing its leaves for the autumn, because it will have the same type of meaning. But when they're looking at it, it's not going to freak them out and they won't go off with that image in their mind. So it just gives it a little bit of a softer edge for it, which I like, which is good. So hopefully that helped with that question. What else you got for us? What other questions have you got? Oh, okay. So if you want a reading, you've got to ask a question. How about that? Because we've got lots of people now asking for readings. So if you want a reading, not only have you got to hit the love and the share, you've also got to ask a question. And then I'm being fed with who has done that. So whoever gets to ask the questions first that want a reading, I'll be told who you are, and then I'll pull a card for you. Sally Ann, let's do you a card then, because you've shared. Thank you very much for sharing. We'll let you off asking a question as you're part of the team as well. But if anyone else wants to have a card, then ask a question. Let's have a little bit of an energy exchange here. Right, Sally, I've got all my cards all over the place. Let's give them a bit of a shuffle. for you. I haven't seen you for ages, Sally. I hope you're doing all right. So let's see. I'm just shuffling here. What have we got for you, Sally? Oh, lovely card. Okay. Now, there's certain things that we're allowed to say and certain things we're not allowed to say on air. It's different when I'm doing it my own way. But here, what I'm going to say is there's new creative ventures. Now, I know, Sally, that you're aware of the tarot cards. I know that you know what the meanings of them pretty much are. But for me, this would be good family news that's coming in around you. Aces are always beginning. So, Sally, it's talking about something new. It would indicate that there's a new venture coming up for you that's got creative influence, so probably spiritual influence there. Family news coming in. I know that you're married, so you're not likely to have a new boyfriend there. So sorry about that, and lucky Bob. But it can indicate a new passion between the two of you. So it would be lucky Bob. It might indicate that there's going to be new things. For me, it's saying yes. It's an indication to say yes to things, yes to social adventures. It's a new friendship card, so new friends coming in. Really, really positive card, Sally. So say yes to new things coming up. Anything that's got a creative vibe, looking very positive for you there. And with the hand coming out as well, it does make me feel, and this is where you get your sidekick vibe over it, because you'll have the meaning and then you end up picking up something that might jump out of the card, or you just get pulled on an area. And I am pulled to the offering, so I do feel there will be a generous offer on its way to you. And I think you'll be hearing some good news coming up soon. So hopefully, Sally, that makes sense. Again, feedback would be great on that. And let's see who else has shared it, who else has asked a question, so you can get a card. Oh, we do know Mandy. Hello, Mandy. Oh, you've loved and shared, Mandy. So let's pick a card for you. You've got the Page of Pentacles, Mandy. Now, the pages, some people don't use the court cards, which I find a little bit odd, but the pages they can either be people or they can be a situation. Now, I obviously know you, Mandy, and I know, again, that you've got, aspects of the card, but this one is about thinking. The pages are always the beginning of a situation. They're an idea, they're like a seed. So that seed hasn't turned into the knight yet. It's not actioned. It's not being moved forward. It's just at that bubbling idea stage. So this is about ideas to do with practical matters. Could be to do with money. Could be to do with jobs. But it has got a practical, earthy feel to it. So you'll be coming up with new ideas. There could be opportunities that are coming to you. I'm very much drawn to around one of the kids as well, probably your son more, actually, where there will be... and then I've just remembered that we're not allowed to do predictions as well, and I was just about to say something. But I do feel, wouldn't it be nice if there was going to be some good news around your son connected to work coming up? Let's say it that way. But some good ideas are on the cards with this one, Mandy, that could become quite fruitful for you. But there's a need to be practical with it as well, and not too airy-fairy. So again, feedback would be great on that. And who else have we got? I'm being told if I've got anyone else. Sally? Good. Thank you, Sally. I've got to repeat what I say, otherwise I'm just talking to the earphone. I don't know what you guys can hear. So thank you, Sally, for that feedback. Lovely news. It is going to be lovely news. Hello, Deb. Oh, hello, Deb. Nice to meet you, Deb Clark. Okay, Tracy, thank you for your question. Do I use the same layout for the cards? I'll have Mandy's feedback in a second. Mandy, your son had a job interview today. Wow, I must be psychic. There you go. So do I use the same layout for each person? Is that what the question was? Yeah, I pretty much do. Yeah, pretty much do. I use the Celtic cross. I like that. Now, when I got taught the cards, the cross was taught in a particular way that didn't quite fit with me. So I made my own. I created my own, and I took a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit of that book and a bit of what I learned, and I created my own cross, which is the one I use when I teach. But I also tell people, if something in that doesn't feel comfortable for them, to change it. The outcome is going to be the outcome. The heart of the matter is going to be the heart of the matter. But the rest of them, where you put the past, where you put the main influence, that can be whatever feels comfortable. Because I do a couple of different main spreads The general one for me is the cross, to see what's coming up now, what's where the challenges are, what's going to be a short-term future, long-term future, and where the outcome and the outside influences. And that all wraps up in the cross. So I like the cross. When I do a 12-month forecast, I have to use lots of different cards. I'm using the major cards. I split the major and the minor. I'm looking at all the astrology houses with it. So there's 24 different cards that I'll be using within that. So that's a different layout. And then if somebody has a particular question, I might choose a different layout relevant to that particular question. I might only use 2 or 3 cards within that. You can make your spreads up. So if you think, you must write it down though, because you would forget. But if you're thinking, I want to know what my health is like, I want to know what my money is going to be like, I want to know if I'm going to go travelling, I want to know if I'm going to marry this guy, and I want to know if I'm going to get a dog. So that's 5 different areas. So you can, because it's all about intent, you can set those 5 different spaces in front of you. And like I said, write down what those areas are, because by the time you come to number 2, you've forgotten what 4 is. So and I've already forgotten what I said. So as it's done with intent, I would have number 1, whatever that meaning is, put the card in. The card that I pick, is that relevant to that area? Number 2, am I going to move house? Have a look at the card, that's going to give me the answer. Am I going to get a dog? Number 3, so you can make them up as well. So although I do, like I say, I'm a Taurus, I'm quite I like structure, I don't like change, so I like to use what I'm comfortable with, but I will sometimes change that if I need to change it, or if I'm looking after I've done the Celtic cross, if I need a bit more insight, then I'll change a few things there. But most of the time I do like to use what I'm used to there. But it's not set in stone, you can do whatever, people can do whatever there. Oh, just had a just had a walker. So hopefully, I can't remember who asked that question, but hopefully that answers that. That makes sense. Tracy, hopefully Tracy, that makes sense to you. Another question, Catherine? Okay. Right, okay. So the question is, often picking the devil, and what does that mean in relation to relationships? So the devil is connected to relationships quite a strong way. Can be a Capricorn, so you might have a Capricorn influence around you. It's also about sorry, Richard just said it's me. That made me giggle. It can also relate to binding. It can relate to lots of different things, really, within relationships. It can be obsessions. It could be that you're obsessed by somebody, or they're obsessed by you. It could be that you're being tied and bound, and that there's restrictions around you. So maybe they're controlling, maybe you're controlling, and there's a control factor around it. And the need would be to break free from that, really. It's not a healthy card within relationships. Now, it could be, and don't shoot me here, Richard, but it could be that your active life, let me say, your bedroom activities are a little bit different to the norm, and that way the devil would come in with that, with, like I said, the binding and the bondage. That very much comes in with relationships. Not saying that you have got that, but that can be an influence. But mainly for me, it would be to do with the controlling factor, that there is somebody either over controlling, or where you feel that you're a little bit too controlled, and that you're obsessing about it. If it keeps coming back up, it's consuming you. It's you might not think as obsession being what it is, but it taking over your life, or it consuming you too much, and then it's binding you in a slightly different way. But the devil is about temptation as well, temptation down the right path, temptation down the wrong path. In the Lovers card, it's got a similar theme to it. So there is a connection with the devil and the Lovers for sure. But for me, it would be more on this controlling factor around it. So I've forgotten the lady's name who asked. What was the lady's name who asked? Catherine. So you'd have to look at your relationship, really. Is it controlling? Are you being controlled by it? Are you, is your hands being tied? Is there things that you want to do where there's a lot more freedom? Are you being a slave to the relationship? Are there material aspects within that relationship that is making you feel consumed, overtaken you, so you haven't got that free thinking or that light energy that would come in otherwise? So you would have to look at those, or like I say, a very strong Capricorn influence around you. It'd be interesting to see what other cards came up with that. But yeah, controlling definitely within that. So hopefully, Catherine, that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, let me know, and then I'll find out why somehow. You're welcome, Tracy. It made perfect sense, I'm being told. Thank you. Oh, it's my cousin. Hello, my little cousin. Hello, Sammy. Is she on? Don't know. But can I pick a card for Sam? I'm gonna. Just a quick card, Sam. Oh, I'll inbox you what that means. Okay, we've got some people waiting for some messages. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for the hearts. It's been noted, and now we're going to work our way around trying to give you some feedback, questions, answers. Hello, Katrina. Hi. We're, oh, we've got a lot there. Oh, okay. So thanks for the likes and the shares. We're getting through people that are liking, that are sharing, and that are asking questions. It's those people that we're going to pull for a reading if you want a reading. So keep on sharing, keep on liking, and if you've got a question, please ask, and you're likely to get pulled a lot quicker. Okay, what's her name? Oh yeah, Jisa Kali. Yep, okay. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Okay, let's see what you've got. Jisa Kali. Oh, okay. You've got magician, the Emperor. The Emperor. Now, this is all about being master of your own destiny, taking charge, taking control of things. You might find that there's a particular male influence, so maybe a father figure or an older male influence around you. If you felt lately that you've been controlled, this card indicates that you're going to be able to get, back on track, be master of your own destiny. You're going to be able to get control back again. It indicates that you might need structure, you might need routine, you might need organising around yourself in a positive way. So possibly having to adhere to rules, regulation, and some kind of order to be able to get things done properly, to be able to get the right outcome. It's very good around businesses, very good around anything to do with the public as well. So if you're looking to work with the public or to expand in a public way, this is a very positive card there. It's funny because you do get your psychic vibe with it, and I'm trying not to link in too much because I'll go off on a bit of a tangent there. But I'm just aware here of needing to own your power a little bit more and to put some rules, regulation, and structure into your life so that you can get to where you need to go. And it's like this foundation building, things are coming in around you to be a lot more stronger. But any advice that you're seeking or that you're getting, I would say it would come from a strong influence, a male influence who knows what they're talking about, so worth listening to. But in a nutshell, be a master of your own destiny, feeling that power, that raw power, taking control of things, and big things could be coming your way there. But order and a little bit of conforming coming in with that. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Keisha, I think it's Keisha. Oh, after every reading, I've got to plug it. Like, share, like, share, comment, and oh, we got a goal to reach. So we've got a goal to reach. So you've got to keep on it, otherwise I'll get it in the neck. So please like, share, comment, and like I said, for everybody that does do that, we are going through you to be able to, well, not literally through you, but we're going to be going through those to be able to try and pull a card for you. The comments, if you might make a comment, that does flag your name up easier. So if you've got a question that you want to ask about the cards predominantly, then please ask, because your name will be flagged up from that. And like and share, spread the tarot love about, and all them little hearts that we need, because Facebook have its own rules around you. So algorithms. Oh, good. I'm glad that made perfect sense to Geisha. That's great. Hope it helped. Oh, thanks, Dave. Apparently, I'm awesome. Catherine Marshall, let's see what we've got a card for you here. Now, you've picked, or I picked, the friendship card. Oh, where are you? Where are you? There. Friendship card. So, this is all about teamwork. It's all about coming together. It's about friendships and working together in a team to be able to get the right results, to be able to get the job done in the best possible way. Can be about education, can be about learning, but where people are, nobody's better than anybody else. Everybody's bringing something to the table equal that they can then put all that together within the puzzle to be able to build it. It's very much a building card, this, and working best in teams. So if you're looking at doing something job-wise, teamwork would be of influence. If you're looking at anything to do with relationships, it's got to be based on a friendship. There, it says for me there's something that's new that's building, something that's new that's starting, and as long as everybody works together, there'll be a good, favourable outcome. But I'm also getting around education and learning, and it seems to be this building of a situation that's coming up. But a really good card, as long as everybody stays on the same page, but very much around equal as well, and no one being better than the other. So no competition, but nicely working together. So hopefully, can't remember your name, but hopefully that that makes sense to you. That's the trouble, isn't it? When you lose your logic mind when you're working. So I know that I was told your name and I've totally forgot. I'm going to get told it again, I think. Catherine. So Catherine, teamwork, working together, friendship based, and a job well done, helping each other, supporting each other. Projects coming up to do with support and help. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Who else have we got? So thank you, likes and shares. That would be good. Otherwise, I'm going to get it in the ear. And questions, Katrina Bruce. Yeah. Oh, okay. So Katrina, are you better to move on from the man that you have feelings for? Now, I never tell people what to do. I say what the card means in their particular position, but I don't want your life responsibilities on my shoulders. Thank you very much. I've got enough on my own. So I never tell people, or I try not to tell people what to do, surprisingly. But it might come across like that, but actually it's just guidance. So whatever I'm going to say, the bottom line is it's going to be down to you. I won't tell you. But let's see what the card says around that. Okay. Now you've got the 10 of Wands that I've picked there. So the question was, are you better to move on from the person that you like, I believe. Now this is to 10 is completion. So it is telling me that something is coming to a completed phase around you at the moment. There's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders with this, and you might find that that burden, that responsibility, if it is one-sided, that it's weighing you down a little bit. It does say not to give up, so I'm not telling you to jack it in straight away. It indicates to keep going, but I would feel that you're near to finding out whatever answer of that's going to be. But I can't tell you what to do. But the card is indicating it's hard work. There's lots of pressure on your shoulder, and you have to weigh up whether it's worth it. And is a relationship, should it be that much pressure? Should it be that much hassle? Should it be like you're always struggling all the time and you've got that burden? And if the answer is no, then maybe that relationship is better to be moved on. But if you're quite happy to have that burden, that responsibility, and that pressure, sometimes we love people that much that we'll do anything. Then you might want to just struggle on a little bit there. But it is a struggle card, and it is a weight of responsibility there, and a pressure card, and not much in a favourable way. But it is coming, because it's a 10, it is moving to the end of that situation. And when this comes to the end, you then become the one. All those all those wands that are there, that are on your shoulders, that are you carrying, you're trying to gather, they then become one wand. And that one wand is a new beginning, because it becomes an ace. After the 10, you've got an ace. So that one wand becomes a new beginning, the ace. You feel a lot more inspired. You feel a lot more created. You feel a lot more happier about your new pathway, and a lot more excited about new things. So this usually brings to something coming to an end to allow a new creative and a new excitement that's coming up. So you have to decide what you're going to do, but be aware of the responsibilities and pressure, and whether you want to carry on handling that or not. All right, so I shall leave that answer down to you. Very diplomatic, I'm being told. Plenty of years of practice. Hello, Francine. Pauline White. Hello, Pauline. Let's see what we've got for you generally. Okay, Pauline, you've got the Queen of Swords. Now, this is indicating queens are very powerful, and this is indicating that you might have to stick up for yourself at the moment. You might have to say a sword is a spade, a sword is a spade, sword is a sword, spade is a spade. You might have to say that everything in black and white, and be quite direct and a little bit opinionated, but really just to clear the air. If there's anything that's been going on around you at the moment, Pauline, that's been a struggle, particularly mental struggle, it feels like things aren't clear at the moment, that there is a lot of muddle going on around you. So the clarity needs to be sorted by a sharp tongue, possibly, or by cutting through whatever is causing the problems. And it could be you that's needing to stick up for yourself or for a cause there. This is the mother-in-law card for me. Sharp tongue sometimes. Not mine, but just saying. It indicates that there could be some crosswords, that there could be something where there is a little bit of sharp tongues going on, but it clears the air, whatever it is. So a little bit of confusion at the moment, Pauline, mentally things becoming or feeling a little bit of a struggle, but the need for that truth, that direct truth, and to stick up for things. And it could be done in a little bit of a short, sharp way rather than in a more sensitive way. If you had the Queen of Cups, it would be done in a much more sensitive way. The Queen of Swords, she says it how it is, can be a little bit cutting there. You could be dealing with an air sign as well. So you could be dealing with a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarian. Could be yourself that's that, but an air sign could come in as an influence for you as well. But the actual message will be to be direct, stick up for yourself, say the truth, and then hopefully clear the air to be able to move on through those mental challenges. So hopefully that makes sense. But thank you for liking and sharing and for putting your comments. So continue to do so. And I know that Rich is working his way through getting all your messages. But like I say, those that comment, those that do ask a question, do flag up quicker. So I like answering your questions. You're welcome, Katrina. Thank you for saying thank you. Deb Clark, let's see what you've got. Oh, okay, I've just been told you're a regular, Deb. So you do readings, do you? Okay, obviously you want me to plug that. Spiritual medium, Deb Clark. Okay, so Deb, you've got the Ace of Wands. I don't know if you're a medium yourself. I don't know if you know the cards as well. Some mediums know cards. Some mediums don't. I don't know whether you do or not. But anyway, you've got that Ace of Wands. That's a good thing if it's covering my face. You've got here new beginnings. Aces are always new ventures. The Wands is really exciting. And funny enough, we just spoke about the Ten of Wands, didn't we? So there's a sneaky bit there for you, Pauline, not Pauline, the other lady, to see how it would turn out. But this is about new beginnings, Deb. This is about new creation. You could have a new inspired work opportunity. You might find that something comes out of the blue, that a new idea is coming to you. It's saying go for it, though. Really good, powerful card to say go for it. It's talking like the now moment, the aha moment. Not quite the penny dropping, but just that doors are opening for you in a positive way there. There could be new creation coming. There could be new family news that's coming in around you. Because it's an ace and you've got creation there, whatever it is, it's going to be positive coming there for you. I'll probably repeat that. I said coming there about 10 times, I think. But anyway, Deb, good news and going for it. Particularly, I'm drawing around opportunities that will come in for you. I do feel that you're going to have an opportunity coming up. I don't know if you'll actually be signing a contract, but I feel I want to be drawn around work situation with you where there will be some exciting news that you should go for, okay? And it feels like it comes out of the blue. It feels like 1 minute you wouldn't even be thinking about it, and the next minute it's all over you there. So something good's coming up there, Deb. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Who else have we got? A few hellos. Hello, a few. Francine, have you made the right decision in your job? Let's have a look. Oh gosh, I've got all the cards now. Let's have a look. I'm actually getting a compliment from Richard. I can't believe it. I wonder if you can put that on air. Okay, Francine, that's right, wasn't it? Let's see what we've got. Richard's the man in the ear. So, have you made the right decision? Oh, okay. So now there's a juggling here, and it is around work. So I don't know actually. My feeling is around it. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if you have two jobs, or if there's a chance that you could be going back and forth with something, but there's definitely a juggling. Most of the time when this card comes, most of the time when this card comes up, it is about having, if I'm talking work, possibly two jobs or having two ideas around a situation. And my feeling is that I think you're going to have to just pan it out for a couple of months, and then you'll really know whether it is or not. But I think that there could be something else on its way to you. I'm not allowed to do predictions, but I think that wouldn't it be nice if there was something else that's coming up for you there? And I just see that you could be juggling your thoughts on that for a little while. I don't feel it's negative. I'm not feeling like that you've done the wrong thing, but I'm just feeling that there will still be something else bobbing up for you there. And I do feel you can put your hand to most things as well. But my feeling is that there's a little bit of choices. I want to have choices still. So keep your options open around you. Are you going to go back to something? Possibly. You might be going back to something there. But I don't feel it won't be a case of it not working, but you just might not feel that you're totally balanced with what it is that you really want to be doing. And if you're questioning things after you've been there a little while, that says something anyway. So I would say just keep going for a little while. But if it's still not sure, keep your options open and be aware of either another job or something where there's this back and forth and this sort of feeling of juggling and having choices and decisions. You're going to have to be really practical though, and unfortunately practical can be a bit boring, so you are going to have to be thinking about the money side of things and about maybe your home, your material life. It's going to be as practical as that, or whether it's to do with journeys and driving and the practicality of everything. So there's a need to be practical with things, but I think you'll be weighing things up for a little bit more until you can see that you're properly balanced and stable there. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense around you. It's not quite a yes or no. If anything, I would have probably said, yes, you've made the right decision, but there's going to be something else coming up as well. All right, so hopefully that makes sense for you. Hello, Ernie. Hello, Caitlin. It's nice to hear some different names. When I do the lives from my own channel, you tend to get the same people coming on a lot. So it's really nice to hear different names and speak to different and reach out to different people. Actually, it's it makes a change. So again, don't forget likes, hearts, shares, comment, because then we can get the Facebook rules up, and it makes it easier for us or for Richard to be able to pull up who's liking or who's saying all the comments there. So any other questions? Does anyone want any questions, or just everyone just want readings here? If you've got a question, it will get pinged up first. Yes, Dave, you can have a card. Let's see what we've got for you, Dave. You've got the Knight of Swords. Huh? Don't know what he said. Oh, hello, Kirsten. Sorry, that's a bit rude. Hello, Kirsten. Dave, you've got the Knight of Swords here. Now, this is about slowing down. This is about not wanting to rush into anything. Actually, you might want to rush into it, but it's saying for you to just slow down there. Be a little bit cautious. Don't run before you can walk with anything. It's saying be alert to things. Have a heads-up reminder. So make sure that you dot the I's, cross the T's on projects and whatever it is that you're doing. Anything to do where there's travel, it's just saying just take things slow a little bit, not rushing around. And just approach things with a little bit more caution there. But you might find that you are really eager, or that you just want to get going with things. Or again, I'm feeling like that there could be a younger person around you that is like that just want to rush into everything. And you're trying to say to them, just sort of chill out a little bit. It's very much around an air sign again. So Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. So whether that's yourself or somebody of influence there. But to me, it's called the Heads Up Reminder card, and it's just asking you to be a little bit alert to things that are going on. Keep your eyes wide open to things, and if you are rushing around, you might find there could be some little mistakes that are being made, or we don't want to cut any corners with this card. It's about doing things practically, slowly, and being logical, being sensible with it there. So hopefully, Dave, that makes sense. So who else have we got? Who else wants to have a card? You need to ask a question, hopefully. What do you want to know? What do you know? Do you get another card? Does anyone else get another tarot card that they just can't quite understand, that bugs them, that they hate, that they get freaked out by? Do you like the court cards? Do you not like the court cards? Ask me some questions. Like, share, and comment. Sorry, Tracy Harris. Okay, Tracy, let's have a look what we've got for you. You've got the hard work card. Now, this is about focus, paying attention to detail and focus. Whatever area in your life needs the most attention at the moment, that needs to be the main focus. So you have to put all your eggs in one basket and not to be too scattered at the moment. It's saying that there's things or loose ends that need tying up, things that need to be finished properly, finalised before you can move on to another project. It's asking you to put that extra effort in, to put that bit of extra detail in, to put that extra effort in. You might find that you're feeling a bit tired at the moment. You might find that you've got a lot on your mind and that you're having to focus on lots of different things. But if you want the best results, this card is saying to put the effort in where you want it, not a little bit, 50% here, 50% there. It's about putting 100% into something first. And then once this is finished, you can move on. Because it's an 8 out of 10, you're almost there. It's near to a completion. So it's saying, you've got 2 more steps before you get 10, before you can be completed. You've done most of the work so far. So it's not like you've got to start from 2 or 3. You're almost there. So just keep going. But definitely it's about focusing, paying attention to detail, hard work, and putting all your eggs in one basket to get things finished, to get things finalised there so that you can bin it off and move on to the next project there. But my feeling is like that it is about bringing everything together. And I know I want studying and I want working, and this studying keeps coming back in and having it and it being a little bit of hard work. But you'll get the results if you put the effort in. Sound like a teacher. If you put the effort in, you'll get the results. Hopefully, Tracy, that makes sense. I've already answered that one. That was the first question. Okay, Jules, we nearly answered a question twice. You've got the celebration card, Jules, so that's really nice. Now, this is about enjoying yourself. It's about letting your hair down. It's again about saying yes to invitations, to social things, to parties. You might have a birthday or a party that's coming up. It's talking about being carefree and just letting your hair down and enjoying yourself, really. Not taking things too serious. I'm drawn around the end of October, so I feel there could be some celebrations and birthdays coming up for you around the end of October. Anything that's got a female influence, so spending time with daughters, spending time with your girlfriends, enjoying yourself, that's what's important for you at the moment there. And just being able to enjoy life and not really care about anything. This isn't a serious card. This isn't a practical card. This is about just letting yourself free to enjoy everything there. It usually comes up when there is a reason to celebrate, like a party or a win or something that you're going to be joyous about there. So hopefully you'll get some news pretty soon about that. I know the end of October is not that far away, but I am drawn around that time for you for some celebration. Usually there comes in with a couple of different celebrations for me. So you might find you've got a few birthdays or a few parties or engagements, social engagements that you'll be going to. But whatever you do, enjoy things. Spend time with females, enjoy things, and let your hair down. And no staying in, get out and just sort of throw caution to the wind and enjoy yourself there. So Jules, hopefully that makes sense for you. What other ones do we have? Oh, we're getting lots of questions. We're multitasking. We're getting Richard to multitask. brilliant. Oh, and I didn't even know there was a wow button, but apparently there's a wow button. So if you keep pressing the wow button, it helps with the oh, it's the smiley face with the mouth open. So it helps the it helps the algorithms of Facebook if you do that. So keep pressing the wow one. I'm not going to do the face again, but keep pressing the wow one. It's the one with the mouth on it. It suits me really, but there you go. So keep pressing that. Caitlin Neary. Caitlin Neary, interested in a card. Oh, into your family's journey. Now, that's a tricky one with just one card. How big's your family? When it's cards that are being asked on behalf of others, it's for me, it's not ethical. It can be done for sure, but I wouldn't like someone to look at my stuff without my permission. And I think there's a comeback with it. So I don't actually look at cards unless I have their full permission. I don't look at cards for anyone else. However, you're asking what your family's journey is. So I will be seeing how that's going to be an influence on you. So not necessarily for them, but how it's going to be for you. But it will be difficult in just one card to give an overall. But we'll see what we've got with that. Let's have a look. Your family's journey. Okay, funny enough, you've got the journey card. Bloody love the tarot. You've got the journey card. Now, this is, it's about walking away. And actually, it's saying that there's change amongst it. So your family's journey with how it's going to affect you, there'll be change amongst it. But there's a need, you know, when people say they go away to find themselves, that's what's wrapped up in this card. Very, very spiritual. Leaving behind what no longer serves you, leaving behind the material aspect, leaving behind things of trouble, but with difficulty in needing to move on, knowing that that is the best answer. So it is a journey, and it is about leaving what no longer serves you behind as you go in search of something better. So it indicates that something better is on the horizons. However, there will probably be emotional challenges along that way, and choices and decisions that will need to be made to better each other, to better things there. And there is a sense of turning back on things that don't work, turning back on things that may have been built up that just no longer serve at the moment. It's a very deep card. It's very, very spiritual, very deep in having to dig deep and to find what feels right with your intuition within. And the two little you've got the sun and you've got the moon there, so that's like, is it a sun, is it a moon? That's all about your intuition. And is it a full moon, is it not? So there's a lot of there's a lot of hidden things going on with this card as well. But there is a journey card, and it's about the journey being better once the back has been turned on what no longer serves. So hopefully that somehow makes sense within whatever their journey is. But it's quite a difficult question because you could have 100 of your family, and I'm obviously only going to be able to pick up on one aspect of it. But hopefully you can take something from that with it. Next question. Who else have we got coming up? Lots of questions. Christian McLean. Oh, Christian McLean. Will your lawsuit end soon? Now, anything to do with legal aspects, again, I'm not a lawyer, so we have to be very careful. Like, I'm not a doctor. There's certain rules and regulations that we have to adhere to with entertainment purposes of these things there. So I'm going to see what the card, based on your question, we'll see what the card comes up with, but I probably won't give you a yes or no answer. Let's just see. It'd be interesting if, let's just see. Okay, will it be coming to an end soon? Now, I'm going to just tell you what the card means, and then it's down to you to interpret that into your way, okay, to however you want. You've got the Tower card. So, time-wise, the Tower card for me is around November, December time. It's connected to Scorpio for me, and around those times. So, November, Yeah, I'm getting November time. Okay, whether that's going to be when it ends or not, I don't know. But I'm picking up November. Now, what this card means is that there's a shake-up. Things are not quite calm. Things are all over the place and chaotic around you at the moment. But this card allows you to be able to rebuild things. So from that shake up, it allows you to be able to rebuild the structure a lot stronger. There could be things that are coming as a bit of a surprise. This whole situation around you just may have shook you up. Usually this card has a silver lining on it though, and the silver lining is that something wasn't right, that there was a wobble or a crack, and then it was going to break. So it needs to be repaired, and you can only repair something if it's going to be totally demolished. So the rebuilding of the card, the rebuilding of the situation is the silver lining. Not great when you're having to go through it. It definitely indicates change, sometimes sudden change, and things coming out of the blue. But just remember, while that you might have to go through this for the next few months, that you can pick yourself back up again and rebuild yourself. So like I say, I'm not going to give you a yes or no answer, but I do feel November will be of an influence around yourself, and in a positive way, that you'll be able to rebuild things. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense there. Now, okay, I just have to say something. Now I've got this in and my batteries are just flashed at me. So, okay, if I go off, guys. Okay, so who did you say? Ernie? Ernie, okay. I love that name. Let's have a look. Okay, now, funny enough, you've got the Three of Swords, but the way I've picked them up is reversed. So, Ernie, was it there a question, or was it just can you have a card? I think it was just can you have a card? So, Ernie, there could be things going on around you that are emotional at the moment, things that are difficult, things that you have got. Maybe there's tears going on around you at the moment. Maybe there's some heartache. It may be as simple as blood tests, though. Sometimes this card comes up for me when there's just simple blood tests. But what it indicates is that it won't last forever, and the healing's needed. When the card comes up reverse, the sword can then come out, and then the wounds can repair. So there's definitely a healing aspect going on around you at the moment, Ernie, and that need to release things. Sometimes we've got to cry to be able to release. So that need to release to be able to heal. It's not the best card of the deck, but it is still a minor card. It's not a major card. So the minor is that it's sort of watered down. It doesn't have to be as big or as bad as a major card there. It may not be a life changing event, but there could be some emotional things. It could be that it is just blood tests, or there could be an operation that's coming in around. Obviously, we're not allowed to talk around matters of health, so take that out however you want. But for me, usually with this reverse, it's about healing of an emotional matter that you need to release from. Okay, just be careful on yourself over the next couple of weeks if there are a lot of emotional things. And sometimes it's not even about you. It could be that you're causing the hurt, or that there's somebody very close to you that just needs a little bit of TLC around them. All right, but releasing is going to be important, not holding on to anything, and letting those wounds of the past or now to be able to heal. It's always tricky when you get the cards that aren't comfortable. It's nice doing readings and everything's all lovely, but as a reader, you've got to learn the negative side of it as well, and how to deliver a card that isn't favourable, that isn't positive. If somebody comes for a relationship reading and it's not going to work out, you can't say to them, oh, it's all going to be lovely. You've got to give them the truth, but be delivered in a way that's sensitive to them, and not so they're going to go out the door and sort of sling themselves off a bridge anywhere. Something where they can have their own healing, and where they can come to terms with whatever it is and make their own choices and decisions, but giving them the guidance and the support and that love that comes around it. Because at the end of the day, with all readings, whether it's the mediumship, whether it's the card, it's all about healing, and isn't about scaring people. It isn't about being right or being wrong. It's about the healing side of it and the guidance, and to give people comfort. So you have to be careful when you start doing them, that you do word things in the correct way. I think that's really important. Delivery. It's not just knowing the cards, it's the delivering of it that's just as important as well there. So it's a little bit of mindfulness. Okay. Right. So, okay, Amanda, hello. So you struggle with the temperance card. Now, the temperance card is all about patience, and he's kind of weighing things up in it. If you have a look at as weighing things up, so you've got the road in the picture. Probably can't find it quick enough, but there's a road in it. So if you remember that there's a long road there, that might give you the indication to remember patience. He's got his foot on the ground, he's got his foot in the water, so it's again about balance, and it's about being flexible and knowing that have got a long road ahead of you. Therefore, there's a need to be flexible, and that usually there's going to be harmony at the end of it. So by being flexible, by doing things in moderation, and again, you can take that with the balance, you can learn to remember that that card is long road to recovery, long road ahead, being flexible, doing things in moderation, and the journey, you'll get there where you want it to go. That card for me comes up when there is a lot of healing in, as well, because you've got the angel vibe within it there. You've got the little triangle, so sometimes that can be to do with, if there's a triangle within a relationship or a situation that needs different angles looked at. It's the positive and the negative influence. The square is the masculine, and the triangle is the feminine side. So again, yin and yang, balance, and having to be quite flexible with a situation. But some of the major cards are difficult to remember. So again, it's just working on those key words there. So we're going to pull you a card, Amanda. Let's see what we've got for you. You've got the Fool. You've got new journey, new beginnings, new journey, taking off with things and being in a position to be carefree, to be excited about new things. There actually could be journeys, there could be travel ahead for you. But you know this card yourself, it's a new chapter, it's a new venture, and it's being carefree and just, obviously I know you work in the travel industry, but it's about being carefree as well and starting something new, being adventurous and starting new things. My feeling is that you're actually starting to get on board with all the spiritual feelings now, Amanda, and that it is taking off, that things are opening up for you, new opportunities are coming up, and it's exciting, and you're going to embrace this new chapter and not really look back, but just go for it there. So hopefully that makes sense. One quick question. Do spirits pick the card? No, I do. Do spirits pick the card? I don't. I don't. I think there's an element of influence. I think there is an element of influence, of spiritual influence around to the cards, but I don't think directly they do. When you're working, you kind of get an idea when to stop shuffling, and you get drawn to a card. I don't particularly think that's spirit. I think that's your own energy, that you're tapping into your own vibe, your own energy, and the influence of your own energy there. I think a lot of things get blamed on spirit. I got pushed out of my chair. Oh, spirit pushed me. This happened at spirit, and I actually think it's your own energy that's projecting that. So I think there's a little bit of misunderstanding of the influence of spirit anyway, to be honest. But for me, with the cards, no, I don't think they do. I just feel the energy surrounding the situation has an influence on the vibe with it. And I do 100% trust that whatever cards come out, they should be correct. I do believe that. The situation that you're trying to talk about could change because you've got free will. So when we talk about predictions that we're not allowed to, you could be saying, yeah, this is coming up, but the situation might change, but the card itself will be the same. Quick before we do disappear, I did a reading for myself. I was about to go to Naples, and a lot of people are struggling. Oh, Hierophant card. Oh, say that in a second then. So I did myself a spread when I was going away. Everyone just said it was a really bad place, and I was going to get robbed and all of this. So I did my cards, and the outcome card was a Chariot. So I knew I'd come home safe, but I did have the sneaky card. I did have the thief card in it, and the worry card. So I thought, oh my God, something's going to happen. So when I was out there, I made sure I had my bag to the front. I didn't go out at night, and it was all fine. I came home and I thought, just weird, because the cards indicated that something was going to go on. There was going to be some thieving, or something wasn't going to be right. And what I found out was, I won't say who, but I found out that somebody very close to me was stealing from me. So the actual cards were correct in their positions, but I had either changed the influence by being pre-warned, or they'd come about in a slightly different way. So I do trust what the cards mean, but sometimes it's just in a different way to what you first think there.
The Hierophant card, just before we finish, the Hierophant card, yeah, that is a tricky one to decide to see. And the main thing is because there's two different reasons of it. It's the Taurus. It's about conforming on one hand. It's about following rules, regulations, and structure. You see the Pope in there, sort of with two guys there that he's initiating, really. And it's got a very churchy feel. It's got a very religious feel to it, and it can be religion based. It can be marriage. It's all about traditions. It's all about doing everything right, doing it, conforming to the right ways, the right rules and right regulations. It's a card, if you've got that, then it's telling you that everything is going to kind of get back to whatever normal is, really. Or that you're going to be joining some institute where there is rules, regulations, or you're going to be feeling that there's a belonging, that there's a sense of everyone doing the same thing and following rules. It can also be linked to groups, organisations, because it's the church and tradition and religion. It could be very much around the spiritual. You could be joining a group. You could be joining a psychic development group or tarot group or something where there is spiritual knowledge coming in there. So learning and studying and looking to somebody for advice, looking for somebody where they can give you that learning that you can conform to comes there. But socially, groups, organisations, and feeling like you belong. So it is a difficult card. The only reason I got hold to remember it was because it's a Taurus, and I know what I'm like. I know that I like rules, regulation, order, everything done properly. So that's how it kind of got in my head. So this is what I said earlier. If you can think of somebody that's their star sign and their personality, and then match that up to whatever relevant cards, you'll be able to pick up bits of their personality in that, and you can remember it. But some of the major cards are a little bit trickier, and the Hierophant is definitely one of them. Practice. Oh, thank you, Pauline. You're welcome. Hello to Angela, Michelle, and Emma. Hello. Okay, so there seems to be a lot of people that want to do tarot card courses. I've just completed one, actually, and we're in the middle of it. So when that finishes next month, I will be putting up a new one. So you can keep an eye on my page, Kate May, or join my group, Kate May Modern Day Mystic, and that's where I advertise everything. And also the Mystic River Lounge. If you join that group, you'll see it advertised in there. I send out a monthly newsletter, so if you want to drop me your email address in an inbox, then you can be in with the monthly newsletter. There is an online course coming up for those that don't live near Portsmouth or that can't get to Portsmouth. There is an online course coming up probably this side of Christmas. If it isn't this side of Christmas, because that will be around the corner in a minute, it will be straight after, sort of January time. But drop me a message. Okay, well, we may be able to do that through Spiritual Productions. So watch this space then. We might be able to wangle something that way. But yeah, just keep an eye on either Spiritual Productions or one of my own pages, and it will be advertised there, or message us there. So thanks ever so much, guys, for tuning in, listening. When am I back? Apparently I'm back on the 25th of September. What am I doing there? Oh, I'm doing readings. No. Okay, apparently I'm back on the 25th of September doing readings again, so stay tuned to that. But there's lots of good there's lots of good things coming up on this channel, so do keep subscribing to it. And obviously my own channel, Kate May Modern Day Mystic. You know, you'll see lots of things going over all of them there. So and lots of different things coming up and different interviews and that. So keep an eye on all of it there. But thanks ever so much for joining us tonight. I hope we got through a lot of the questions that you wanted. If we didn't, like I say, we're back on the 25th of September in 2 weeks' time. Or if you go offline, you think, oh shit, I really wish I could have asked her that, then you know you've got an opportunity to come back and ask it again then. Deb Clark next Wednesday evening from 8 o'clock is on. And that's it. So thanks ever so much, guys. And if you missed the story at the beginning, obviously you can watch that on repeat. And it's been really, really nice being on here. And I will get through to looking at all the comments and all the likes and everything. And if I can, I shall personally thank you all. I don't know if I can or not, but if I can, I will. I shall do my best. So thank you very much. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.